What broke me as a papa is the children. What really, really shocked me, and it's also logical because I have a daughter of 16, a girl of 16, she came down from the bus, and when I looked in her eyes, she was dead. And we tried to speak with her, but there was nobody to talk with.
Welcome to What Came After. I'm your host, Manya Marcus. On What Came After, we'll take a look at the many ways that people's lives changed on and after the brutal massacre in Israel on October 7th, 2023. We'll be speaking with people in Israel and around the world about how the devastating attack by Hamas has shifted, shaped, and changed them. To learn more about our podcast, please visit us at whatcameafter.com.
Hi.
Hello. I am sitting here with the famous and possibly infamous Dov Sabo. You and I met on Friday night at Beit Chabad in the center of Amsterdam, and a series of stories were erupting from your mouth, several of which I'm not sure I believe, but I came to check it out.
Good.
Can you tell me who you are, where you're from, and how you got here?
Yes. My name is Dov Sabo. I am 52 years old. I was born and raised in Israel. And after my 3 years service, I decided that I don't want to continue in Israel. And I don't want that my children will grow up in Israel. I didn't want that my children will go to the army. I didn't want that my children will do nothing to do with violence. So I was sitting with my older sister. Okay, where to go? Germany. Big part of my family died there. So it was not really an option. And then she says, go to Amsterdam. It's a very nice place, very nice people.
Okay, so your older sister had this idea that you should come to Amsterdam.
Yes, she said it's allowed to smoke there, and you smoke, go to Amsterdam. So I came because of the smoking, and I stayed because of love.
Okay. You are seated in front of apparently just a portion of your knife collection.
Yes.
And much of your art has Hebrew embedded within it.
Yes.
And you were also telling me that you did not want your children to have anything really to do with the state of Israel.
Not about the state of Israel, because I'm a proud Israeli. I live here already for 28 years, and I'm still considering myself Israeli before I will Dutch. And the idea for me with my daughters was more for the violent. Not that they don't have connection with Israel. Both daughters speaks fluent Hebrew, really mother language. It was really important for me. My older, it was a little bit easier. With the younger, she started to fight with it. So she said, you know what we're going to do? You're going to speak with me Hebrew. I will answer in Dutch. Until we went to the street and she said to me, Papa, mag ik een ijsje? And I looked at her, I said, what? Papa, I want ice cream. I said, I don't understand you. Can you say it in Hebrew? Okay, אני רוצה ijsje. I said, it's okay. Ijsje is glida. Let's do it like this. And today, both of them speak fluently. And this is something that was really important for me. What I didn't want it is the violence. You know, we are born in Israel, you're raised in Israel. You understand that the army is not a privilege. It's a must. You need to do all kind of things to survive and to take care of your family or to protect your family. And I thought, if you will grow up in a different environment, without the army, without the must serve, without violence.
And is it more relaxed?
Until the 7th of October, it was amazing. I had really the illusion that I succeeded. I got divorced when my kids were really young, 2 and 4. And there was only 3 rules in the house of Papa. You're not allowed to go with shoes. You're not allowed to speak Dutch. Yeah. And not violent. That's the 3 things that Papa is not allowing them.
And they were violent, I assume, in their mother's home?
Also not. Same idea. Same idea. Yeah, same idea. Yeah, the thing is that in the Mama home, they spoke Dutch.
Right.
So for me, it was really important to understand that if from very young age that they will speak, it will work. And today I'm very happy with it.
So can you explain a little bit about the knife collection and what appeals to you about this particular item?
Yes. When I was 6 or 7, I saw a book, The Primitive Work of Africa. And it's amazing because you saw that actually when you think about knives, the connection of knife many times is violent. But humanity created weapons not to kill each other, just to improve the ability to hunt. And you see that with the progress of the years, they started with weapons that is made with wood. And then you see that when the metal came in, you see the combination of metal and wood. And I was really fascinated. And I went to my parents and I said, I want to buy a knife. And of course, both of them looked at me. You have a lot of knives in the kitchen. No, I saw a specific one that I want. My father was a very smart guy. He made with me the rule of 50%. You bring the 50% and I will continue with the other 50. And I bought my first knife. It was a very small one. I still have it by my parents. And then I started to build them.
To build knives?
Yes, to build weapons. I took a piece of metal from a fence that I found and I made it really sharp and I saw that you can throw it. I took a kitchen knife, I broke the handle and I created my own handle. And my parents said to me, if you came to the age of bar mitzvah, we'll buy you the first sword.
A sword?
Yeah. Until today, I wait for the sword because my parents decided they don't want to play with me.
They backed out.
Yes, they backed up. They thought it until I will become 13. I will grow up and I will
Be
let it
not
go.
interested, yeah.
Exactly. But passion is a passion. So I have a collection. I started, like I said, very young age. Today, I have almost 300 pieces. Today, I'm buying swords from museums. In my house, I have last three things that I bought from the Rex Museum. So it's Dutch swords from the 1800s.
Let me ask you this. Do you
Please.
think that there's a reason, or that part of the reason that you insisted on that third rule for your girls, and that you really wanted to break the cycle of violence that's kind of essential in Israel for survival? Do you think that any of that is because it's strong within you? Is there an impulse to violence within you?
Of course. It's even worse, because it's not that I walk on the street and I think, okay, let's see who I can punch. In a very young age, I'm hyperactive. And one of the systems they found deal with the hyperactive is they send me to train. Because, okay, they say if you're going to punch a sack, it will take some of the energies out. But actually what happened in hyperactive, it's the opposite.
It just
It
multiplies.
multiplies and multiplies. So I started with judo. And then I said, okay, but it's not enough. So I went to karate. And from the karate, I went to Istardut. And I did nunjitsu. And then one day I met Krav Maga. One of the biggest problems for somebody that's hyperactive is rules and structures. So when we talk about karate, then you have the kata. So everything is really like with rules and everything is like in boundaries. Come the Istardut. That was one step forward. Istardut is in a fighting sport that a Jewish guy from Poland brought it to Israel. And it's combining few of the fighting systems together. And most of the fighting arts are actually developed out from protecting the people. And most of the places, they were not allowed to train. This is a things that was developed because we are not allowed to fight. So how can we learn how to dance and still protect ourselves?
I did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah, and the Krav Maga is coming from totally different approach. First thing, run. Second thing, run. Third thing, run.
Meaning when you meet a threat, three times run away.
Yeah, it's even before you meet a threat. Today I'm trained, so it means that when I walk on the street, I have more awareness. If I go in the street and I feel something, it's really intuition. I will cross the street. I did it yesterday. It was really funny. We went to the cinema and we're standing in a line. And then I stopped my wife. I said to her, my dear, wait for a second. We waited that 4 people went and then we went in. The energy of one of them was really aggressive. And this is something that like my body is like alert to it. And like I said, I continued training here when I came from Israel, but it was really in a low fire. I'm talking about I didn't train every week. I trained once a month. And it was something that I really neglected because it's really nice to live in Holland. It's quiet. And I started to feel that I don't need it anymore. I lived with this illusion until the 7th of October.
Okay, so we are going to get into that, but I want to ask you one more question, which is, do you think that your instinct to violence, the desire to quell it, and your very, very deep awareness of survival is linked to the fact that you have Holocaust survivors in your family?
Of course. Actually, I still have the number of my grandma. I even considered one point to tattoo it on my arm. And the reason I didn't do it is because, in my opinion, it's not about bad or good. It's not about the aggressive and the aggressee. A lot of times when I speak with the Jewish people about Holocaust, they're coming from the victim point of view. I think in one point in life, you need to let go of the victim. For example, our parents. I think that until 40, you can be very upset with your parents. You can hate them. You can be so upset of all of the horrible thing they did. But in one point, you reach 40, that's it. You cannot anymore put the excuse because of my parents. And I think that as Jewish, we need to see the Holocaust from how we can prevent it to happen. So not from the victim kind of point, more of the awareness kind. We are smart enough to understand that when we walk in the street and people are shouting, stinking Jew, it's not so bad. We understand that, but we know where it can go. And this is what we're doing now in Holland. We're fighting in everything what we can to stop it before it's going to escalate to something really big. And yes, the Holocaust is a huge factor in my life. I cannot deny it. Until today, when I go to supermarket, I cannot buy one product. Doesn't matter what, I'm buying always two. You know where I discover the effect of the Holocaust? In the Corona. When the Corona started, I had 240 toilet paper.
I understand.
And the joke is, 2.5 months before the Corona really hit the country, I was doing already shopping.
Already, because
Yeah.
you saw it coming.
Yeah. When I saw the thing in China, I ignored it. But when I saw a supermarket in Italy empty, I said, oh, Dov, this is not so far away. I took 2 of my friends. Each one of us put a budget. I took a cook. I told him I have 40 people that need to survive 2 months. Make a menu. So he built a menu. We broke the menu by products. Here in the basement, we still, until today, we have the generator, the gas balloon, the cooking things, the water, the candles, the matches, all of the things that you need to have in emergency.
Okay, so this reminds me of the expression, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. Have you heard this expression?
Yes.
And so
yes.
it sounds like, you're a little hypervigilant. You're aware of that in yourself.
Yes.
But it sounds like something clicked or shifted on October 7th. Can you tell me where you were and how you responded?
Yes. 7 October, I was in Sinai.
That's in Egypt for people who don't know.
This is in Egypt, and not only in Egypt, I was deep in Egypt. I was next to Dahab, so we're talking about 4 hours from the Israeli border. I went with a group of 22 people. The idea was 5 days in Sinai. Flew from Tel Aviv to Eilat on Friday. Friday we crossed the border. We did amazing dinner on Friday evening with all of us. Really nice, with guitar, and I brought chalot from Israel, and we did really Kabbalat Shabbat.
So these were all Israelis?
Israeli people,
Okay.
friends from, it's amazing because it's a combination of friends from everyone. And because I have a good friend of mine that lives in Eilat, and he called me, he said to me, Dov, please come with us. 5 days. And I'm trying to create the 5 days because when you go to Sinai, it means that you are without a phone.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I did is I said, you know what, I'm flying anyway to Sukkot, to Israel with my daughters. So what I will do is Thursday, I will send my daughters back to Holland, and I will fly to Eilat. And then we go together to Sinai. And this is what we did. Saturday morning, I woke up around like 10 o'clock. Everything is very, very chill in Sinai. Because actually Sinai is nothing. It's a beach, it's a sea, and a few houses, and the locals, they are making for you the food. Very nice atmosphere. And I woke up in the morning in 10, and the way that it builds is you have a main room, where there you have the kitchen, there you have the internet, there you have the life. And then around of this, there's a lot of small rooms. It's called Khusha. That you have your own room.
Is that
with
Arabic?
A shower.
Khusha?
Yes, it's coming from the Arab word. And the idea is that it's like a house with a shower next to the water. So I went from a Khusha to the direction of the main room, and I saw the face of my friend. I understood there's a problem. I ran to him. He said to me, there is a general war in Israel. People are butchered. Go to your Khusha, bring your stuff. 20 minutes, the taxi will come to pick us up. Everyone is hostile.
Oh, God. Okay.
It means that trust nobody. You never know which one will pull the gun or the knife. I ran to the room. I took my stuff. I brought it to the main room. And I realized that in the evening before, except from our voices, I heard more Hebrew. So I ran to all of the chushat to bring all of the Israelis to the main room and to bring them back to the border. It was really funny because there were a lot of them in denial. I went to one of the rooms and he said to me, "Come on, man, are you joking?" So I said to him, "Yes." And instead of enjoying the beautiful day on the sea, I woke up in the morning and I thought, I'm going to joke with you about war.
And make you leave.
And
right?
make you leave this paradise. And one of the people said, yeah, we heard that. We're going to go tomorrow. So I looked at his wife. I said, my dear, if a jeep will stop here with 4 people, nobody can come to help you. Pack. So all of them really packed and all of them went to direction of the border. In our taxi, we had except for me and my friend, we had another 4 of them, but another 2 taxis came to take them to the direction of the border. And then I found myself in 2 o'clock in Eilat.
2 p.m. on October 7th, you're in Eilat.
7th of October. My friend is calling me, the guy from Eilat. One of his best friends is the manager of Hotel Yam Suf in Eilat. And that he's receiving the people from the hotel. Actually, from the Neros, we got 150 people from the 450 people that live there. And from Kerem Shalom, we got only a part of them, 250 of them. And the rest went to another hotels.
So these are the people who had it the worst.
These are the people that came from hell.
Yes.
They came out from the buses still with pajamas, no shoes. It looked like that the pajama party went really wrong. People were walked up in a nightmare. And this nightmare comes down from the buses. And we started to help them to carry the stuff to the rooms and to give each one his own room. And then they asked us to speak with them. The most important thing when somebody has experienced trauma is to talk about it. Immediately.
And you have no psychological training,
But it was really important because what happened with trauma, if you keep it in, it becomes poison. So it's very important when somebody has trauma to talk about it. What I saw there, of course, I was really shocked. And the reason I was shocked is I saw things in my life. As I said, I was 3 years in the army and I saw a lot of shit in my life. In the army, the shit is with soldiers. You are volunteering to protect your country. So yes, of course, it's bad also when soldiers get killed. Every soldier has a mother. But as a soldier, is a part of your job. You know that one of the things is you're risking your life to protect everyone. What broke me as a papa is the children. What really, really shocked me, and it's also logical because I have a daughter of 16, a girl of 16, she came down from the bus, and when I looked in her eyes, she was dead. And I know these eyes, I saw the eyes in Lebanon when I was 20, but again, by soldiers, not by 16. And we tried to speak with her, but there was nobody to talk with. It was blank. You look to a person, you see his eyes, but you see it's totally, there's nothing behind it.
Mm.
What we did immediately is we took in another girl from Eilat. One point, I'm sorry that I'm stopping. The volunteers, what I saw in Eilat really warmed my heart. It was amazing. Every 15 minutes came a car with donations. The local vet called us. They say, we're going to open 24 hours, especially for you. The people from the optimics, from the glasses, they said, guys, the shop is open all night. Just give us the numbers. We will create for them the glasses. It's really touched me. And one of the kids of Eilat, she was also helping us with logistic. What I did is I took her, I explained to the Latin girl, you are with her now 24. You are not leaving her 1 second alone. She goes to the toilet, you go to the toilet. She goes to the shower, you go to the shower. You don't talk with her. You don't try to speak with her. You are just there.
Because you were concerned with her safety?
Yes. Okay. People that have this trauma, they're in shock. It's very dangerous. Because one of the conclusions could be, I did something wrong. This is one of the stories. There was a lady, I think she was almost 80. She came to us and I wanted to shake her hand and she could not pick up the hand. And I looked at her and I said to her, ma'am, what happened to you? And she said, yeah, I fought 11 hours in the mamad. I had my 2 grandchildren and I said, they will never come inside to take my grandchildren.
Her hand wasn't numb. She had used it
for 18.5 hours. She fought on the door with Arabs on the other side, terrorists that want to go in to take her, to take the children. And she said, I will die on the door. The door is not going to open. So you can imagine that the whole system of muscles, when you do it, the adrenaline is helping you. The problem is when the adrenaline is dropping, you feel everything. There was another guy that I saw there. He came with a bus and he was running. He was the guy that organizing. With Israel, we have a lot of them. You know, they're helping and they're shouting and it doesn't matter what's happening.
Right.
You will see them the first carrying. And I look on the side and I let him run a little bit. And then one point I came to him and I said to him, what do you like to drink? Of course, he was full adrenaline. No, I don't need to drink. I said, no, I didn't ask what. If you need, I ask you what you want to drink. No, I'm still have to. No, sir. You finish. You don't have nothing to do anymore. You are in Eilat. You are not in your kibbutz. The nightmare is finished. Come to sit next to me and drink with me something. Whatever you want, just tell me, I will bring it to you. If you're not going to say nothing, you can have water. But you can choose whatever you want. Okay, water is good. And then I came to give him the water. And I said, come, let's go sit. No, I cannot sit. I said, sir, I understand the adrenaline. I understand the stress. He said, no, idiot. I have a bullet in my back.
Oh my goodness.
So I said to him, what? So he picked up his shirt and he showed me the bullet. Still inside.
Still in his back.
Still in his back.
Wait,
So
this is why he can't sit?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So I said to him, don't worry, sir, but somebody else is going to take care of you.
You're not going to do the surgery.
I'm not going to do surgery, but
Oh
I
my
called the
goodness.
medical people. I said, this nice gentleman, please look what is in his back. I asked him permission to make a picture of it, not with his face, but the bullet in his back. And what I did in the time that I was there, because I was there 2 days volunteering, I said, okay, this is the situation, what we can do from now. And I realized that the war is in the TikTok, in the Instagram. I collected numbers of people that live there. People from the kibbutz. I had 3 numbers of different people. I also explained them why. One of the girls, I'm still connecting with her until today. And actually what we're doing is she's sending me everything what is in English. She's sending it to me. I'm giving it to my daughters and we spread it.
Wow. You have 2 teenagers, correct?
Yes, I have 2 teenage girls and 1.5 hours a day. They was busy only in the TikTok and the social media to reply. They really
So
fought.
is this what we call hasbara? Is
Yes.
that the concept?
Yes.
Can you explain what hasbara is for
Yes,
people who don't know?
the idea of hasbara is to explain the world what is actually happening, what is the reality. And because of we lack of budgets and because of that we're not a lot, we have maybe 20 million Jewish in the whole world. So when 20 million is trying to fight, or I cannot even call it fight, but 1.3 billion Muslims, in the social media, we are really lacking, we are not doing nothing there. This is the reason that when I came back in 10 of October back to Holland, my best friend, I was expecting him to call me to ask me how I'm doing, and he didn't call.
He's not Jewish.
No, he's a Dutch guy. And then I called him, I said to him, are you not interested what happened with me? He said to me, what do you mean? I said to him, do you not heard about 7 of October? And he said to me, yes, of course I heard. You deserve it.
I'm sorry, your best friend said that?
Yeah, I was like, could you please explain? And then he said to me, yeah, you are 75 years mistreating the Palestinians. Now, this stupidity can happen only because people don't understand what is reality.
But how come he didn't understand the reality from his friendship with you?
Because he sees me as a good,
like the good Jew, the good
Jew,
Israeli.
the good Israelian, but it doesn't mean that he is agreeing with what's happening with my country
I see.
or with my government. Now, the stupidity of them is they think it's politic. I will say something really terrible. From the 10th of October, I lost all of my Dutch friends. And what happened to me was really shocking, because when I came in 97 to Holland, in 2001, I met a Dutch guy, a Jewish Dutch guy. It was amazing. I met him because I sold this building. And I came here and I was totally excited about Holland. What a beautiful people. What a relaxation. I saw somebody is moving in the canal. He parked his car in the middle of the road and the people in the back of him turned out the car and to help him. And I came in, I said, oh my God, it's paradise. And then in one of the days that I was in his office, I said to him, man, it's paradise, Holland. And the Dutch are amazing. And then he looked at me and he said to me, kid, which one of your Dutch friends are not going to give you to the Germans?
He said that to you in 2001? Wow.
And I, as a kid, I was in shock. What does he mean? Which one of them is not going to give me to the Germans?
Well, okay, you had people in the Holocaust in your family. Why was that surprising?
Because we're talking about Holland. I forgot to tell you something that's really important. Before I came to Holland, I went to my grandma. And I said, Grandma, I want your blessing. I want to immigrate to Holland. And she said to me, the Dutch are the most amazing people in the whole world.
Oh, she said that. Okay.
Yes. And I was shocked to hear from a Dutch Jewish person that says, no, they are not so nice.
Where was your grandmother from originally?
Originally from Hungary.
Hungary, okay.
And my grandmother was in Auschwitz.
Okay.
The barraque, the place where the Jewish used to sleep in Auschwitz, the Dutch one and the Hungarian was next to each other.
I see.
And my grandmother was from the end of 44. Actually, if you want to be precise, 12th November, she went to Auschwitz and she went out with the revelation in 45. And the all Dutch people she met were actually Dutch Jewish people that they just tried to hide them. And they caught them and then sent them to Auschwitz to die.
So you're saying that the Dutch Jews who were there, the native Dutch population had tried to hide them, failed, and then they were sent, like Anne Frank.
You know that in Yad Vashem, every person that saves the Jew got a tree and he got a certificate and they're like doing big things for it. Dutch has 84 of them.
Of how many?
Of 100 something. So it's like a huge percent of people that try to save. But in Holland, from 140, 102,000 were killed. It's the higher percent of Jewish that got killed in the whole world. It's from Holland. And for me, it was like, I was a little bit shocked because my grandmother said, the Dutch are amazing. Why grandmother said they are amazing people and they try to help? 187,000 people work together with the Germans. I met a professor when I just came here and he was totally drunk. He didn't know that I'm Jew. And he told me as a child, this was the game. When you were 7 until 12, look to find Jew. Because every Jew that you find, you get 5 gulden. A lot of money. It's the same like 500 euro today.
So he was alive during the 40s. Okay.
Yeah. So for me, when that Jew that I sold this building told me, who is not going to rat you out, I didn't understand it. I will give you a story. A guy, very, very busy kid. So he's asked, Papa, do me a favor. Can you help me with celebrating of my birthday? He said, of course. I give you 30 numbers of my friends. Can you call all of them and ask them to come Wednesday in 8 o'clock to my house to celebrate? The Papa said, of course I will do it for you. Wednesday, 8 o'clock, the kid sees 5 children instead of 30. So he looks at Papa, he said to him, Papa, I didn't tell you to invite 30 people? He said, this is what I did. I called all 30 people and I said to them, my son is a problem, he needs your help, come Wednesday in 8 o'clock. So the 5 people that's standing here, they're actually your friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know that to go to drink beer, you can find many people to come to cry with you. And this is something that with the years, I realized that it's always in my background. Every Dutch person, I'm taking him in proportions. He can tell me whatever he wants, but I know what happened. The Dutch people are very box people. Very, very box people. And when you think a little outside from the box, you see the reaction of them. I will give you an example. 6 years ago, came to me an Ukrainian guy without papers here in Holland. Jewish Ukrainian. Very sad story. And I said to him, don't worry, I will help you to find a place. He couldn't find a place to stay. So I had to find for him a place to hide him. And it's a little bit remind me the different times.
Yes.
And then I said, okay, one second, who I can trust to ask him to hide him. And we're talking about now. We're not talking about that the Nazis are controlling the country. You're underneath the German government.
This is 2019.
And it was really weird because I found a place to hide the Ukrainian. 2 people knew about the place of the hide. And I saw the reaction of different people when I told them this. They said, why, are you crazy? If they will catch you, you will get problems. So I asked them, okay, what you suggest? To throw him to the street? Again, we're talking about a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
The only mistake of him, he was born in Ukraine, not in Holland. And then you understand that, one second, let's say it was Germany, and I need to hide the Jew. I won't count all my Dutch neighbors.
It sounds to me like you were a little drunk until October 7th. You're saying you can drink with people. You're so relaxed here. The Dutch are so beautiful. And then wait a minute. There's a reality and it surfaces.
True.
Before we go to November 7th, November 8th, the Maccabee game, on October 7th and right after, did you have any regrets? One, about leaving Israel, or two, about not raising your daughters in their
Israel,
culture?
I will tell you, it's really double. Because when I was in Israel, I called my unit. In the Saturday, when the things happened, I called my army unit. I couldn't watch the TV, not doing nothing. You know, it was for me, give me a gun, give me uniforms, I'm running in.
Mm-hmm.
And I called the unit, and the lady started to laugh at me. She said to me, sir, you're above 50. I said, so what? I can still shoot, I can still run, I can still fight. What is the problem? She said to me, do you see yourself running with another guy of 20? Because in my unit we go in 2. So what do you think? We're going to put with somebody with 20 next to you? And I understood she's right. You know, I called another friend of us, same unit, and I said to him, how are you doing? And he said to me, Dov, breathe. I said to him, what do you mean, Dov, breathe? He said, we had our time. We did what we had to do. We did it in the best way that we could do, but we had our time. Think about it, that in the middle of our training, one grandpa will jump in from our unit. Breathe, we did our thing.
Okay, but now you have to answer the whole question.
So the answer is, I'm definitely not, because the most happy thing that I had in my life, that I knew that my girls are in Holland. When the 7th of October happened, the fact that I knew that my daughters are in Amsterdam gave me much more relaxation, to be honest. Let's say if it was 7 October and my girls were in Tel Aviv, I would flip. Definitely, because I'm in Eilat.
Sure.
Knowing myself, probably I would take a car and 5 hours later I will be with them. But still, you know, the fact that I knew 2 months ago, my daughter came to me and she said to me, Papa, we don't have future in Holland. And I asked her, what do you mean? She said, Papa, Jewish cannot live here. We have another 10 years max.
Wow.
To hear it from your daughter, it's painful.
Do you agree with her?
Yes. I'm afraid, yes. The thing is that when you know that you have a problem, you can deal with it. When you don't know that you have a problem, you cannot deal with it.
And the Dutch don't know they have a problem brewing?
No, the Dutch are living in really la la land.
Do your daughters want to be in the IDF? Do they have any interest?
Until 7th of October, there was not an option.
No, they had no interest. And you wouldn't let them?
They didn't have the option.
Okay.
I can tell you, the answer is yes. If my daughter will decide to go to the IDF, I will support her.
Okay, so that's a difference. Dov, we have to get to the 8th of November, the Maccabee game. Tell us that story.
The Maccabee game was in the 8th?
It was on the 7th,
So
and then went into 8th.
It was the Friday. My daughter woke me up. Papa, there is war. I said, my dear, what do you mean, Papa, there is war? She said, Papa, there's more than 200 phone calls in your telephone, and your telephone is continuing calling. Woke up, took my phone. A friend of mine from the yeshiva, from Israel.
You went to yeshiva?
Yes.
Okay.
So one of my guys in the yeshiva called me that his secretary, a husband and 2 children are locked in hotel in Amsterdam, and they are totally afraid to go out from the room, and they have a flight over 3 hours, and he doesn't know what to do, and if I have suggestions. I said, yes, I have suggestions. I get the clothes, I'm going to pick them up. I'm getting dressed, stopping my private auto, going to bring them up, bring them to the airport. On the way, I'm getting a phone call. Hello, we are 8 people. Can you come to rescue us? Okay, where are you guys from? And then another, we are 7, we are 6, we are 3, we are 4. So I did 2 things. One, I stopped on the side. I called all of my friends. I said to them, guys, leave work. I don't care what you're doing now. step in your cars, I'm sending you an address, you go to the address, you take Israeli and you bring it to Schiphol.
That's the airport, correct?
See, yes, this is the airport. And then what I did is I have like a rent cars where I rent all of my trucks, and whenever I need cars, I give him a call. I said to him, I need a minibus now. He said, okay, 1 hour, you have a minibus. I said, thank you. I throw my private car by him. I took the minibus and I started to save the Israelis. The sad story is, the day before, I danced with them in the Dam.
The Dam is the center where all of this
center
craziness
yes,
happened.
and that way when we were dancing and shouting and screaming and all of the things.
Oh, you were being a hooligan. You were being a soccer hooligan.
I was not a soccer hooligan, but I really enjoyed from the soccer hooligan, to be honest.
And it's fun.
No, it's not only this, it's the first time that you have like, could you imagine, we live here in Holland. Most of the time when you see 1,000 people together, probably most of them will be Muslims. So most of the time we are small.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the shul, maybe you have 10, 20 people. We're very happy. Suddenly, 3,000 Israelis in the Dam with flags, with proud. I was excited.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed dancing with them. And what I did then, I told them, guys, stay in groups. I have a lot of Arab friends here. And I understood from them 2-3 weeks before even the Maccabi started to come, they are planning on them.
You understood that from your friends?
Yeah. The street is talking if you're listening or not. After the 7th of October, in the 10th of October, when I came back, there's a snack bar that every time when I go, I say salam alaikum, and they reply, alaikum assalam. And I go after the 10th, I say salam alaikum, and this quietness. Now you can ignore the quietness, or you can do something with it. What I did, I went to the snack bar, I called all of them, I said, whatever who want to speak with me, come in.
Because they know you're Israeli.
They know that I'm Israeli. I'm known as the Jewish Israeli real estate agent. And I have also, in the TikTok, I have videos, so people are really stopping me in the street.
Mm-hmm.
And as you see, I go everywhere with this.
Hostage pin, the yellow.
Hostage pin. I'm not hiding my identity. And then we went to the snack bar with the Moroccans, and they start to shout, to scream. And I let each one of them talk, one by one, to listen. Maybe there's something new that I missed. I watched Al Jazeera, something like 2 hours, and after I finished, I wanted to kill a Jew. And then I remind myself, Dov, you're a Jew, you cannot kill yourself. So I understood
what they're working with.
Exactly.
Yes.
When I came with all of the upsetness of them, I understood them because I understand where they're coming with the news from.
Mm.
And I said to them, guys, all of you are right. I have one question for one of you. What is the name of your kids? And he said to me, my daughter is Yasmin, my boy is Muhammad. So I asked him, I have one question for you. All of what you're saying is right. Israel is killing Arab for nothing. We are genociding, people living there in apartheid. Of course, it's all bullshit. But I said, okay, I will go with you, with everything. But you need to answer me one thing. You, the papa of Yasmin and Muhammad, I took Muhammad and Yasmin and I took them to Utrecht. What you gonna do? And then you should see it. I kidnap your kids, Yasmin and Muhammad.
Oh, you took them away. I see.
I kidnapped your kids, Yasmin and Muhammad, and I took them to Utrecht. You know who took your kids?
Mm-hmm.
You know where are your kids? Yusuf, what you gonna do? And then you see, I said, Opa, you're right. I wouldn't expect different reaction from you as a papa. 241 Yasmin and Muhammad is now in Gaza. I know where they are. I know who they took them. What did you say I'm supposed to do with them? And you see the old table was zoop.
Mm-hmm.
I said, guys, Israel is stupid. The way that we deal with Arabs is not the way that you need to deal with Arabs. We have 21 countries that we can learn from. Why are we learning from Europa? It's very nice that we're learning from Europa, but we're not in Europa, we're in the Middle East.
I want to say this again. And why should we learn from Europe? We should be learning from the 21 Arab countries, Middle Eastern countries.
Exactly, because what we are dealing with is Middle East. If you want to understand something, look on the culture. The Druzian story. What happened is, there was a car accident in Yehuda and Shomria, West Bank, and one guy got killed. The villagers, they kidnap his body. Israel started to do negotiation to get the body back, what the friend of the guy from the Druze did, went to the Arab village. They took people from the village with guns. They took them to the village of them, and they told the village, if one day is by and we don't have our body, every day we shoot at one of the hostages. 3.5 hours, the body was back.
Very strange.
Yes. Why? This is the mentality. This is the way that you work with them. You cannot talk with them.
So can I say that you understand that Israel needs to speak Middle East, so to
Yes,
speak?
definitely.
But you wanted to speak Europe, you wanted to escape, and
Yes.
now you're living in a situation where you need to think and feel and
Arabic.
be aware in Middle Eastern terms again.
Yes, yes.
Do you plan on staying here?
Definitely not in Holland, but in Europe, yes.
Okay.
Ask me the question, where?
Where?
I have no idea. I can tell you that now Hungary and Poland, it looks like the only place is clean, but I'm not sure. In another 3 years, I will see where is the situation, where I go.
And will your daughters come with you?
My daughter will come with me. My ex will come with me. The boyfriend of the ex will come with me. I'm going to move me to a whole tribe.
Whole tribe.
I just need to decide where. And it's a very, very difficult question.
How fascinating would it be if you ended up in Poland?
Could be. It would be nice. Or Hungary. Think about it. I'm going back to Hungary.
Hungary, yes.
What my grandma comes from.
I'm just going to leave everyone with a bit of a cliffhanger that you're Satmar.
My grandma.
Your grandmother was Satmar.
Yes.
You were Yeshiva Bacher.
I'm Yeshiva Bucher. My papa, when he was 16, he caught the peot and he gave it to my grandfather in a bag.
He cut his payas.
Payas, yes.
Oh boy, okay.
And they said that 2 weeks after he saw the light, because 2 weeks his eyes was closed from the punches that he got from my grandpa. So he saw the light after 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm coming from a very ultra-Orthodox family.
Let me ask you something that I actually think in some ways unites this whole conversation. How important is it to you to be powerful?
Very.
Why?
I promised my grandmother one thing. I didn't tell her that Hitler is not going to come, because he will. I promised her one thing. We're not going to go as sheep to the butchery. She was a very fighter. I grew up with a really fighter grandma. She used to sleep with a knife underneath her cushion. And the thing is that she was not scared from nobody. This is the way that we grew up. She went one day with my mother. She took an hitchhiker. And on the middle of the way, started to ask them about money. So my grandmother said to my mother, stop the car. And he said to the boy, go out. So the boy go out. And my mother looks at her and said to her, Mama, the guy's with a weapon. And then my grandmother pulls the sewing scissors.
Mm-hmm.
One word, he gets it in his neck. You understand? This is the family.
That's your family.
And then one day when I grew up, and I said to her, Grandma, how did you went like sheeps? You are a fighter. How did you went like sheeps? She said to me, I'm going to answer to you in 1 year. She caught me on Yom Kippur. 11 o'clock Yom Kippur. Dov, I want to walk. Now in Israel, when a grandmother said something, we do.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, Grandma, I want to walk. I walk with her. And we start to walk. In Israel, I want to remind you, it's not Holland. It's 32 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And we're walking, and we're walking, and we're walking. And one point, I'm trying to understand what Grandma wants from me. I said, Grandma, what are we doing? She said, no, walk with me a little bit more. I cannot sit at home. And then when we walk back home,
so thirsty.
Yom
Kippur.
And to go up to my house, it's like ill.
Mm-hmm.
And then my grandmother said, could you run and come back? I looked at her and said to her, Mama, Grandma, are you crazy? Running now? I don't know if I can walk this hill. She said to me, Dov, you told me sheeps to the butchery. I said, what do you mean, Grandma? She said, Dov, we were 3 days in the train without food and without drinks. What are you talking about fighting?
Okay, so you're not going to put yourself in that situation.
No, never. Okay. I would be prepared.
So this has been an amazing conversation. I hope we get to continue it. And thank you for welcoming
You're welcome.
me to this beautiful office and on this busy day for you. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe to What Came After wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us online at whatcameafter.com.
כמה קל פה לאבד את הכיף, לרוץ גם כשעייף, עייף ועוד רודף מחר. כמה קל פה להרבה ומת, עם כתם דם שוטט, הדם שותק עד שנשבר, עד שנשבר. השיר קורא להסתגר, אביון נשאר שואל, ירושלים שוב אומר. כמה קל פה לא להתערב, עד שהופך רעב לעוד זאב למהומה. יש מהומה. יש מהומה.